Your attention, please. The 13:55 Stepford Connect service to Stepford, Victoria has been cancelled. This is due to a member of the train crew being unavailable.
This is Stepford Central. This train terminates here. All change, please. Thank you for travelling with us today.
The train now standing at platform 9 is the 13:47 Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. Calling at Stepford East, High Street, Whitefield Lido, Stepford UFC, Woodhead Lane, Horton Rake, and Whitefield. This train is formed of 4 coaches. The train now standing at platform 3 is the 13:48 Stepford Express service to Lynn by the Sea via Benton. Calling at St Helens Bridge, Benton, Leighton Stepford Road, Leighton City, Edgemead, West Wyvern, North Shore, and Lynn by the Sea.
Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. We will be calling at Stepford East, High Street, Whitefield Lido, Stepford UFC, Woodhead Lane, Horton Rake, and Whitefield. The next station is Stepford East. We will shortly be arriving at Stepford East. Change here for services to Berrily. Please mind the gap between the train
Stepford
and the
UFC,
platform.
Woodhead Lane, Horton Rake, and Whitefield. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
This is Stepford East. This train is for Whitefield. The next station is High Street. Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. The next station is High Street. We will shortly be arriving at High Street. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. Calling at Whitefield Lido, Stepford UFC, Woodhead Lane, Horton Rake, and Whitefield. This train is formed
This
of
is
4
High
coaches.
Street. This train is for Whitefield. The next station is Whitefield Lido. Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. We will shortly be arriving at Whitefield Lido. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Calling at Stepford UFC, Woodhead Lane, Horton Rake and Whitefield. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
This is Whitefield Lido. This train is for Whitefield. The next station is Stepford UFC. Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. The next station is Stepford UFC. We will shortly be arriving at Stepford UFC. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Calling at Woodhead Lane, Horton Rake and Whitefield. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
This is Stepford UFC. This train is for Whitefield. The next station is Woodhead Lane. Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. The next station is Woodhead Lane. We will shortly be arriving at Woodhead Lane. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
54. Stepford Connect, service to Whitefield. Calling at Horton Rake and Whitefield. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
This is Woodhead Lane. This train is for Whitefield. The next station is Horton Rake. Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. The next station is Horton Rake. We will shortly be arriving at Horton Rake. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Platform 1 for the 13:55 Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. Calling at Whitefield only. This train is formed of 4 coaches.
This is Horton Rake. This train is for Whitefield. The next station is Whitefield. Welcome on board this Stepford Connect service to Whitefield. The next station is Whitefield. We will shortly be arriving at Whitefield. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. This train terminates here. All change, please. This is Whitefield. This train terminates here. All change, please. Thank you for travelling with us today.
Platform 1 for the 14:06 Stepford Connect service to Lynn by the Sea. Calling at St Helens Bridge, Angel Pass, Bowdon, Coxley, Benton, Benton Bridge, Hampton Hargate, Wharton Newton, Rocket Parade, Leighton Stepford Road, Leighton City, Edgemead, Faymere, Westercoast, Millcastle, West Wyvern, Starry Lock, North Shore, and Lynn by the Sea. This train is formed of 6 coaches. Platform 2 for the 1416 Stepford Connect service to Stepford Central. Calling at Stepford UFC, Whitefield Lido, High Street, Stepford East and Stepford Central. This train is formed of 4 coaches. Your attention please. The 1416 Stepford Connect service to Stepford Central has been cancelled. This is due to